Okay, so today we're going to go through the attendance register. Now, it looks like gymnastics is coming back. I think it's a good time to do a refresher on some of the functionality in the system, but also use it as an opportunity for you guys to feedback to us on any improvements, any changes you'd like us to make in version 2 that we're currently working on. Right, so I'm going to first of all just look at the setup of the attendance register within the web application, and then we'll look at the mobile app, look at the functionality there, and then we'll check in with some ideas that we've got for V2 and get your feedback on those. It'd be great to hear your thoughts. Okay, so the attendance register, if you come over here to settings and come to attendance register, this is where we set the attendance register up. So I've set one up here for the autumn term, and I just did that by clicking on create new register, and I'll step you through the process here by clicking on edit on this one I've set up. So you set, first of all, the number of sessions that you want your register to run for. And what we're doing here is we're building a template for pretty much all of our classes. So you'll have, I don't know, your 10, 15, 20, 200 classes, whatever it is. We're building a template that's going to apply across them all. So here I'm saying, right, this is our autumn term. It's going to run for 12 sessions. And for each of those 12 sessions, I've given it a label. So week commencing 7th October, 14th, 21st, and so on. And it's really going to cover all the sessions during that week. Down below that, I can select who the register, what classes the register's for. So I've got my Monday sessions here, and I've got my Tuesdays. So you're going to select all your different classes. So all your groups will be listed here. So you might want to select all and then deselect the ones that you don't want to include. Underneath that, we can set up an alert. So if somebody misses, say, 3 consecutive sessions, the system will send out an email to you to notify you of that. So it might be that somebody is perhaps losing interest, and the system will pick that up by the fact that they've missed the session, and then you can maybe reach out to them, and if they've decided not to come along, fine, then you can go off to your waiting list. So quite nice from a business perspective that you get that heads up, and then you can move on quickly to pull somebody off the waiting list so there isn't a drop in revenue. Okay, so once we've set this part, the next bit is to select which fields we want to appear on the attendance register. So you get a list of all your fields here on the left-hand side, and then on the right-hand side. So as you pick them, they appear here, and then you can drag and drop them around to whatever order you want them to appear on the register. So I've selected first name, last name, date of birth, and age. I've selected age because that allows me to order the gymnast by age, which some clubs like to do, rather than do it based on last name. They like to do it on age. I always like to get medical information in there, some information on the parent guardian with their mobile number, and also the payment status. So when I select the payment status field, I need to select what I want to see that payment status for. So if I click on edit, so down the left-hand side here, there's some check boxes. So I want to see the payment status for the Monday 4 till 5 class, but I also want to see the payment status for their club membership, and I want to include that on everybody's register record. So on the left-hand side is the payment status specifically for the class that they're in, but then on the right-hand side, I'm saying, all right, I also want to see the payment status for this here, and normally it's your club membership. That used to be important before BG had people go off and pay them through Gymnet. It was actually, I want to see who's paid their club membership, because that includes the BG fee, and that tells me whether this kid is insured when he's walking through the door. So that's useful information. So that's the payment status. Underneath that, I've selected attendance record, so it will tell me what their attendance has been like over the last 5 sessions. And I can also display attendance history for past registered. So let's say I wanted to see it from the summer term. If I selected yes there and I had a summer term set up, I'd be able to select that term as well. So it shows you those consecutive sessions. Underneath that, there is these 3, by the way, they're all system fields. So payment status, attendance records, and notes are all system fields. The notes allows you as main administrators to leave a note for the coaches. So it might be that the grandparents are picking the kids up, it might be a heads up about an injury. You can leave a note for the coaches, but then equally the coaches can leave notes for you guys. So if there wasn't perhaps an accident, or maybe somebody was misbehaving, or maybe somebody did something great, they can leave a note for you. If I click on edit here, when a note is left, the system will send an alert to whoever you've put into here. On the right hand side here, you see an option here. It says hide on screen. So when you're taking the register on an app, say maybe it's on your phone, there's fairly limited space. And in actual fact, do I really need to see their date of birth or the parents' information, or their attendance record, or maybe the notes at first glance? Probably not. You may want to try and hide some of those. So here you can select what you want to hide. So you just tick those, and you can hide those on the screen. And then you can just tap on the gymnast name, and then it will then display the list of fields underneath that. Okay, so fine, I'm happy with that. But yeah, if I needed to select any more, when I select it, it will just be on the right hand side. Any questions on this part here? I think if you're already using LoveAdmin, then you'll know, you'll be pretty familiar with this. Okay, so I'm going to click on save and finish. Okay, so if I want to, when I come around to do maybe the spring term, I just click on copy here, and that will copy all the settings. I just need to put in those new dates. Whilst I'm still within the web application, I can print my register. I'm not convinced we've got the printing format of this 100%. So in here, I'd say, okay, well, I'm running my Monday 4 till 5 session. It's going to be week commencing 7th September. I can print that register out. And if I click on next, it will then bring back all the members and all the field data. So here are the members. And now I've only selected first name and last name. So if you think about back when we were setting up, I said, I only want to see first name and last name. But on the register, that might be fine. But you might also, on the printed register, you might also want to include medical conditions. But the more information you add, the longer your register is going to be. So if you've got 15 fields in there for every member, then you're probably, if you've got a class of 20, you're going to probably have 25 sheets of paper for that. So it's best really to be using the app. Okay, I'm going to switch now to the web application, so just bear with me whilst I do this. Okay, you should now be able to see the app. Now I've got full access rights, so I can just see development, attendance register, gallery, and log out. If you're given access to your coaches to this, they will more than likely have partial access rights, so they'll have a few more tabs open, like for their personal information, that type of thing. But for somebody who's got full access rights, this is what they see. And if I click on attendance register, it will bring back the term. So here I've just got the autumn term, so I'm going to select that. And then it will bring back the list of classes that I have administrative access to. So if somebody's just working on Monday, they'll only see the Monday classes. And if I click on Monday 4 till 5, it will bring me back it will then bring me back the sessions. So week commencing 7th September, that's the one I'm interested in. And then it will bring me back the list of people in that class. Now, you'll see here, we've just got the name. There's an icon of a person there. So you can ask the parents to upload a picture of the gymnast, and those pictures of the gymnast would appear there. We can see that there is a little icon there of I think it's a wallet or a card. And that just denotes that there's an issue over payment. So something is outstanding. So if I look at Daisy Duke and I just tap on that arrow, it's going to bring me back all the information that I've requested. So medical conditions, there's none. The parent is called Mary. The mobile number is that. And then the payment status. So my Monday 4 till 5, she's paid her class fees, but she hasn't paid her club membership fees. So that gets flagged up. Now, if I want to record attendance, I can come in here and I can select all, but then I can deselect. So it might be quicker to select everybody and then deselect them, or maybe you just shout out their name and you tap them as you go, however you want to do it. So let's just do it this way. I'm just going to deselect a few there, and then down the bottom we've got actions, and then we've got a couple of options. We've got record attendance or record absence. So I'm going to record attendance, and that's done. So we can see at the top there it says total 20, in attendance 17. Okay, so that's nice to know, but I've still got a list of my 20 people in my class, but I now need to record absence. Well, I'm now going to find those people that are absent. So the way that we do that is at the top there, you can see there's a filter option, and I can filter by people who have attended, people who are absent, or not recorded. So for me, the red one there's not recorded filter. So those 3 people I haven't recorded attendance for. So I know that Chloe and Eleanor are absent, and the reason they're absent is because they're on holiday. So I can just select holiday, and then that just leaves me Alison. So I can click on Alison's name when I finish with the spinny wheel of death. Just whilst that's processing, you see next to the filter option, there's some arrows there. Those arrows allow you to sort the attendance register, or the names, either alphabetically, so A to Z or Z to A, but also by age as well. Yeah. So I have the spinny wheel of death permanently here. Rather than wait, I'm just going to launch that again. Not sure what happened there. Okay, so click back into the attendance register, autumn term, Monday 4 till 5, week commencing. Okay, filter, not recorded. And we've got Alison, and I'm just going to mark her as absent and reason unknown. So those are your options that are either sick or injured, they're on holiday, other reason known, or other reason unknown. So she's going to be unknown. We seem to have an issue with the spinny wheel of death. Okay, well that is the functionality of the app. It really is pretty simple there. I want to go back to the web application. There's a question there which I'll come back to in 2 secs. Let's have a look at that chat question. Can you zoom into the full desktop, please? Sorry, Jordan, are you talking about on the web application or on the app? Could everybody else see the app okay?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, not sure what that is. Can you all see my screen okay now?
You were zooming in before on the desktop.
Yeah, you see the screen okay on the desktop? You were zoomed in before on the desktop, but now it's full screen. Okay, I'm not sure. It's okay now though, so all good now. Okay, good. All right, so whatever you do on the app gets reflected over in the main web application. So if I wanted to go into Daisy's record now and come over to actions and where are we? Attendance history. It will bring me back the attendance history. So Monday 4 till 5. So if I hover over that, it will tell me what session that was, autumn term week commencing the 7th of September. Grey means that we haven't recorded anything for that person. And if we had recorded absence, then we would see the related icon for the absence, and we hover over it and it will tell us. So if we go to maybe, I think we marked Alison. So this is at the individual level, but you can actually do this at the class level as well. So there we got, hover over that, reason unknown. If we want to do it at the class level rather than at the individual level, come over here to settings and come to attendance register. Click on attendance history. You pick out the term. You pick out your class. And it will bring that back for everybody now. So that will just track that over time. Now, if I left a note, the note would appear here, and you can click on that, and it will date and timestamp it. So if I just come over here and do that on the app quickly, add one in there for the following week. In actual fact, I can do it from, so you guys can see here. So you can actually record attendance by the web application as well. If I come over here to contacts and classes, and I click into that Monday 4 till 5 class. If you are doing it on the web application, you can be a little more generous on the fields that you show. So if I come over here, if you're doing it on the app, you might want to hide a lot of the fields and just have first name, last name. But if you've got a front desk and you're doing it as people come in, then you can afford to maybe have things like their payment status, the payment status showing, maybe also their attendance history. So we'll include that there. And come over to the class, Monday 4 till 5. And it might be that you've got Monday 4 till 5, but you've got 4 or 5 classes going at the same time. And you are doing it on the front desk, and you've got lots of people coming in. You can just have multiple tabs open. So you might have one for your Monday 4 till 5. I don't know, ages 5 till 6, and then you'll have another one's ages 6 till 7. You can have multiple registers open at the same time in different tabs. So I'm going to come over here, autumn term. I'm going to go week commencing 7th September. And then here it's going to bring back the data for those 20 plus people. And you'll see here what I mean about there's more space on the web application for us to get in things like payment status and their attendance history. So in here, it will show red for being paid and green for not paid. So we looked at Daisy earlier on. So she'd paid her class fees, but she hadn't paid her club membership fees. So this is quite nice to see at a glance when you've got lots of data in there. And if I click on their name, it will take me through to that underlying, the rest of the underlying information. So here is the rest of the information. And if I wanted to add a little note in here saying she did great this week. This is particularly useful for clubs that have satellite clubs. So you might have, I don't know, 5 different locations, and you've got to relay information to those 5 different locations, and the coaches within that. Leaving these notes is really handy. Okay, so now we've, and by the way, when you do leave a note for a coach, on the app, there's a little icon that comes up, a little icon that suggests that a note has been left. So they can just see at a glance, oh, okay, right, there's a note against this person, or oh, there's a payment issue against this person. And it will time and date stamp it as well. So it's left by Dave on this date, on this particular time. Okay, any questions there, guys? I can see there's something in the chat. Carla says, hi, I'm creating registers for squads who train several times a week and need to be marked in for each attendance. How can I do this, as I can only create up to 52 entries? So with your squads, it depends how you've got them organized on the system. Do you have a class set up for each of their training times? So if they did a Monday 6 till 7, they did a Tuesday 6 till 7, and they did a Thursday 6 till 7. If you have your classes set up like that, then you can just take the register as you would, for the rest of your classes. If you have your squad set up just as one group, so you're not splitting it out into the individual sessions they're doing, then you will need to, well, in actual fact, you will need to create a group or a class for those individual times, because otherwise, you know, that actually, no, you could, no, okay. So well, first of all, Carla, is what I'm talking about, does that make sense to you? Do you have your registers?
Can
Do
you
you
hear
have?
me?
Yeah, okay, I can hear you.
Hi.
That'd be better.
Yeah, no, I thought I'd unmute myself. What we've got several squads,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them train up to 6 times a week. So the coaches want me to do a register, because I'm separate to the coaches, so that they can tick off each attendance. So for one of our groups, our women's artistic, they've all got different days. So I need to write in the days that they're training. So really, it would help if I could have multiple entries, if that makes sense, because they all train at different times, and within the squads they train at different times. Creating groups for the squads would be a bit of a nightmare.
Okay, got it. All right, so this is what you would do then. If you come over here, settings, attendance register, you would create a new register and you would call it, I don't know, artistic squad.
Yeah.
And let's say you're going to do it for the month, for the week, whatever it might be. So you could say, right, this is for, and by the way, we've got some improvements on this in V2, but let's say this was for the 1st of September, and then they're training again on the 3rd of September, and then they're training again on the 5th of September.
That's
So,
how I've been doing it so far.
yeah, so it's a bit of a faff, right? You've got to
Well,
work
it's
in
not.
advance of yourself.
Yeah, I have to create them in advance. That's not too bad, but the issue, because I can do them in advance, but the issue I've got at the moment, because we've only just started using online registers, is that a coach has asked me to create for further down than the 52 entries, if that makes sense, because we're using so many entries for the squads. And I don't know that if I go back into a register and delete off some of the earlier dates, will that delete the attendance history? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so if you come
Because
over,
I need to check the history, because I'm going to be billing them based on their attendance over the summer.
yeah, so you're saying that deleting it from here, right?
So yeah, so say I've used up all 52 entries because I'm using 6 per week.
Yeah.
Then when I need to, I've been going back into the register and trying to amend it to add more dates. But if I delete off the earlier dates, does that delete the attendance history entirely?
Okay, all right, good question. So
Would I need to make another register?
yeah, okay, so well, it's probably about 12 months ago now. It used to be that when you deleted the register here, it would delete the attendance history, and we've fixed that, so we don't do that. But your point is actually, if we come in here and delete the session off here, does that delete the history? Okay, good question.
Just because it just means that if I have to create a new register each time I need more dates, then I need to add the specific coaches to that register to be able to see it, because we work remotely. It's just a lot of admin to do that.
Right.
Each time I mean, if I have to do that, then I will, obviously. I just thought if there was an easier way, I'd ask.
Yeah, okay, so deleting the date
Yeah,
within a
it's only for our
register.
squads. The other weekly sessions are fine, but we may have a gymnast that attends twice a week and not the rest of the week, and I need to know.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I'll find that one out for you, Carl.
Thank you.
Just a point on this whilst we're here. The improvement in version 2 is you won't need to do these dates. The system will, when you take the register, the system will go, okay, well, today is September the 7th, and it will just stamp it. So having to do all this pre-work is
oh, that's fantastic.
You won't need to do that. Okay, good. Let's see if there's any other questions in there. Dave, having red as paid, I would read red as unpaid. Sorry, did I get that around the wrong way? It is red is unpaid and green is paid. So yeah, I'm sure if I go back to the register, it will show that Daisy was green for her class fees, and she was red for her for a club membership. So yeah, I think I probably just said it around the wrong way. Okay, anything else? I'll bring that back. Sorry, wrong tab. Let's go back to the chat. Okay. So Jordan says we do squad registers monthly. Okay, yeah, good. Also, can you go back and amend registers if Johnny comes in 10 minutes late? Okay. Actually, no, I don't think you can. I think once you've recorded it, let me just double check for you. I think once you've recorded it, then that would be a great enhancement in the new version. And also, there isn't the option at the moment for recording somebody is late. It is an option for version 2. So for those of you just listening to me and all year in is version 2, that is the that's the new version that we're working on in the background. So yeah, if I go in here and I'm looking at the app and I'm looking at somebody's record, the fact that they're can I overwrite that? Record attendance. Oh yeah, you can do it. So yeah, the answer is yes. Okay. I vote for you to swap that table. What's that, Kim? Yeah, sorry, I think I just got my words around the wrong way. Recording is late would be great. Yeah, you can also duplicate them. So if you manually enter days 131, you can tell that the register. Okay, all right, good. Whilst I've got you here, I just want to show you what some of the ideas that we've got going on and to get some of your feedback on it. So over here in our support center, we have the LoveAdmin community, and within the LoveAdmin community, we're starting to add things in there for version 2. So we click in there on version 2. It's all the ideas that we've got for the attendance register. So there we go, recording if somebody is late. And you guys can go in and you can vote these things up and you can leave comments. So I'll put the link for this community into the chat box. Accident report forms. Do we want to see accident report forms on the register? So feels like it's a good place to put them if that's the piece of tech that you're carrying around with you. Creating notes. Well, we've already got that. Updating field data. Let me just click into that creating notes just to see. Okay, so sometimes it's useful for administrators to leave notes and coaches or instructors accessible on the register. Likewise, it'd be useful for coaches to leave notes. Any functionality you would like to see around that. So yes, it would be useful if we could add a message alert so coaches and admins are alerted to new information. Right, we've already got that. Just coming down to this next one here, updating field data. So would you like to give your coaches the ability to edit any of the field data on the attendance register feature? So you may open that up, you may lock it down. It might be that take that somebody's working remotely and the mother says, okay, Janie's now allergic to this. Well, it'd be quite nice if the coach can go in and just quickly put that information in. So that might be something to look at. Do you want to be able to send messages from the app? So yeah, seems a reasonable thing to do. Archive in attendance history. So do you want to be able to archive your attendance history? So when you are looking on the web application and you've got, I don't know, 2 years worth of data there, you want to be able to actually archive it away. You don't want to delete it because you might need to keep it for 7 years for safeguarding or insurance purposes. But do we want to be able to archive that? So as I'm talking through this, guys, just put into the chat box whether any of this sounds good. And I know that Kim is looking at bringing these ideas from here into the Facebook group to hopefully encourage engagement on some of these ideas and get your feedback. Do we want to be able to delete attendance history? Well, we've already got that. Exporting attendance data. So not currently available on version 1. Is it important for you guys to be able to export that information out? And if you are exporting it out, what is it that you're doing with the data? And can we perhaps build something that simulates what you're doing with that data when it's in Excel? So, is it a simple report that you're trying to get, that you want to see your attendance over a period of time? Maybe you want to get a percentage of absence and attendance. So let us know if you are exporting data out or want to export data out. What is it you want to do with it? So there we've got the attendance history reporting. How should the attendance register look? Have we got that right? Be really interested to hear your views on that. If I just go back to the app, I just switch my screen. Do you think that we've got the look right? Is it easy to use? So this is what it looks like. I mean, it's a list of names, and you tap on it. Anybody got any views on that? Stick it into the chat box, and we'll circle back to it. There we go. What else we've got? Paper registers. So you guys, do you need paper registers as backup? And if you do use paper registers as a backup, how would you like them to look? What format? Do we follow a traditional school register? The limitation with that is the amount of information that you can get into at a traditional school register, all that safeguarding information, the medical conditions, emergency contact. How important is it to record attendance offline? So it is an online application, but sometimes the Wi-Fi in the gym isn't that great. Maybe you're in a location where you don't get any Wi-Fi and you're just working on mobile data, and that can drop in and drop out. So how important is that for you guys? Accessing data, what's this one? Okay, would you like member or customer data that is displayed in the attendance register feature on the app to only be accessible via the club's Wi-Fi connection? Okay, so this is an interesting one. So this means that if a coach logs into the app outside of the facility, they will not be able to see the members' data. So, do we tie it down to an IP address? So that's really good from a safeguarding perspective. We do have comments from clubs saying, okay, these coaches have got access to this app, which is brilliant, but we only want them to access it in the gym. We don't want them to be looking at this type of thing outside of the gym. So maybe that's a good idea. What else we got? Requesting payment. Do you want to be able to request payment from the app? So tell us whether you think you want to be able to do that, and why do you want to be able to do that? Absence alerts, well, we've got that. I think one additional thing on here is at the moment, it just sends an alert to the administrators. Do you want that alert to also go to the parent? So anything that we might need to consider there. Recording absence, we've seen that earlier on. Was there anything there? Yeah, we've already got that. So some of these are just, with our existing functionality, have we got that right, and is it important? Display icon, yeah, recording attendance. Okay, so this is an interesting one. So recording attendance for subgroups. So you've got, let's say you have a class of 30, and now if you've got somebody on the front desk, they might be taking the register for those 30 people as they come in. But if you haven't got that, and the attendance register is done in the gym, but in the gym you split those 30 kids down into 5 groups, do you want to be taking attendance at that subgroup level? But then you've got the added complication of that some gyms, it's quite fluid. So the kids come in and go, okay, right, you 5, you go over there with that coach, you 5. And then all of a sudden, that coach has got to take the attendance register for 5 kids that he didn't know he was going to have 5 minutes ago. So that's a challenge to get around. But some clubs are okay. We're taking 30 kids, we're splitting them into 5, and those are already predefined. So being able to take the attendance register down at that subgroup level. So how important is that to you guys? Okay, let me go back. Sorting contacts. So how would you like to sort them? So at the moment it's by last name, first name, A to Z, or by age, any other thing. And this one here is the one that we really want to crack. It's the automated check-in, check-out. You guys will be able to tell me better than I will know. You probably spend the first 10, 15 minutes taking registers. We'd love to come up with some tech where the system picks up kids as they come in to the gym, and also when they leave. So our current attendance register feature checks them in, but it doesn't check them out. Now for fire safety, that type of thing, it'd be great if it checks them out, but it'd be great if there was a bit of wearable tech that the kids could have, maybe some near field communication that it picks it up as they come into the gym. So tell us about that, whether you would like something like that. And okay, you're not going to get 100% success rate because Maisie may not have whatever it is all designed to she's wearing it at the time. But it might do 90%, which means you're only taking 10% of the register. So that 15 minutes becomes a minute. So that's something that we're really going to be focusing on the new version. So I'm just going to check into the chat box to see if anybody thought anything that was useful. Okay, how do I do several tabs? Open Dave. Okay, that's just a right click. So you can just come into your classes and click in, right click, open up in a new tab, and that will load your Monday 4 till 5 class in there. And then you do the same for your other ones. So yeah, right click, open up a new tab. Okay, Jordan, very important to export. Having squad gymnasts that do not attend but still pay. So we need it so we can get rid of gymnasts that don't meet attendance policies. Okay. If we could change member status or other details, that would be good. Okay, so that's editing field data by the sounds of it. And not, so we can do it in the gym. Okay, yeah. All right, so, okay, good. What else we got? Several places I work, Wi-Fi isn't great or not at all. All right, so that leans towards being able to do offline. I'm still using paper registers. I have up to 4 sessions running at a time and Wi-Fi isn't always good. Okay, subgroups would solve my problem of multiple classes, maybe color-coded to define subgroup. Yeah, takes too long to take registers using the app for me at the moment. Automation would be great. Yeah, that's where we need to get to. Okay, any particular feature there stands out for you guys that you say, this is the one we need this? For me, it would be the automation. That solves a lot of problems and a lot of time. Okay, any other comments or questions on attendance register? No, but I covered it all off okay. All right, well, if there's no questions, we can sign off there, but if you've got any ideas, anything you'd like to see, now's a great time to get talking to us. Kim will hopefully figure out how we can get these ideas and engagement into that Facebook group. So great. All right, well, thanks for your time, everyone. Kim, is there anything from you about what's going on? I think you had a successful webinar this week.
Yeah, we had a great webinar about ninja programs with Diane. So if you didn't catch that, it has been reposted. I apologize for my child in the background. It has been reposted in the group. We are going to be starting individual threads to keep track of your feedback on these ideas that you've talked about today, Dave. So keep your eyes open for that as well.
Good. All right. So we will be back next Friday with the next session. Kim will be posting in the Facebook group asking you what it is you'd like to they'll go over. Now we're getting back in the gym. That's a good time for a bit of a refresher on some of the functionality, but we'll let you guys tell us what you want to see. Good. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye for now.